Hello. If you clicked on this video, then you must be interested in Cascadia. I know I am. Repeatedly, I've searched for videos on Cascadia all over the internet. The only videos that I found consistently were ones on the subduction zone and the trucks. There was little available in content when it came to the bioregion or bioregionalism, so I'm changing that. In our modern world, where so many terrible things are happening, it seemed incredibly important to me and others that I talked to that a YouTube channel for Cascadian content be created. I won't deny, there are some videos on Cascadia on platforms like YouTube, but the most popular ones aren't created by Cascadians. They are often gross misrepresentations about what Cascadia actually is. So, our first video then will be made for those who are unaware, who don't know what Cascadia is, or who have been misinformed. And let's start off with that misinformation. If you've ever heard of Cascadia, you've probably heard it as it is mentioned mainstreamly, as a combination of the states of Oregon and Washington with British Columbia. This common misconception has probably done the most amount of harm to the movement than any other misconception. Well, arguably, there's one that's worse. Anyways, this is not a map of Cascadia. This is a map of Cascadia. This is a purely political, reactionary, white American-focused idea of secession that vote blue no matter who liberals fall back on whenever they feel threatened. They have the sense of community, I'll give them that. They have an idea that there is something shared between all these areas, but they have no idea what it is, and they'll probably forget about it when the next blue president comes into office. Cascadia is also not this, or any other combination of pre-existing political borders. Cascadia is a bioregional concept. Its borders are shaped by the environment. Cascadia is especially not this, the Northwest Territorial Imperative. If you are unaware, the Northwest Territorial Imperative, or NTI, is a white nationalist idea that sees the American Pacific Northwest as the ideal location for a white ethno-state. Many of the states of the Pacific Northwest have a history with rampant white nationalism, and although they may not be a part of Cascadia as an idea, these issues must be addressed. Ignoring them will only cause more harm. Let me make myself clear. Hate has no place in Cascadia. And if you do want to peddle this hate, to put it lightly, don't expect to be welcomed here.
There are also some movements within the bioregion that may not consider themselves Cascadian or even Cascadian influenced, but clearly are. This is not to say that these are bioregionalist movements, they definitely are not, but they subconsciously recognize that there is something about this area that makes them similar. However, many, if not all of them, rely on current political borders, a mistake to be sure. At this point, you may be asking, okay, then what is Cascadia? Cascadia is a bioregionalist idea rooted firmly in support for decolonization and protecting the environment. Some people also believe that Cascadia has a shared history and norms that bind the area together, and some even want secession. That's a lot of technical jargon, but what does that mean to the average person? Well, let's start with bioregionalism. Bioregionalism is an environmentally focused philosophy that places weight on bioregions as the main form of societal organization. A bioregion is a naturally defined area based on watershed boundaries and natural borders like mountains and other kinds of terrain. Bioregionalists often note a shared cultural consciousness within bioregions as a result of their natural boundaries, as it is easier and more common to traverse within bioregions than between them, leading to cultural genesis within said bioregion. Bioregions are inherently locally based, and therefore local issues are placed at the top of the hierarchy of attention. I mentioned that Cascadia is a decolonization effort. This term can be scary for white people. Does this mean you want to deport all white people back to Europe? No, that's completely ridiculous. Decolonization in this form signals the absolute end to all European forms of oppression that have persisted within the United States and Canada, which would include returning stolen land to Native Americans, paying reparations to Black and Native peoples, and creating systems to aid Black and Native peoples in restoring their communities that have been destroyed by lingering colonial systems and mindsets. Decolonization is not white genocide, although some may think that white people having to share power with those they've oppressed is equivalent to genocide. And if you think that, again, you probably won't be welcomed in Cascadia. Even after all this explaining, I still hear these common questions. Who is considered Cascadian? Well, it's a pretty loose definition. If you are a Native American from a tribe within Cascadia, you're automatically Cascadian. If you were born here, well, you're automatically Cascadian. If you've lived here most of your life, you're also Cascadian. Hell, I'd even wager to say, if you hear all of what I'm saying and say, man, that sounds really great, I'd say you're Cascadian too. Another question would be, is Cascadia a secessionist movement? This one is a hard one to answer, and I can see both sides of the aisle. Within the goals of this channel? No, Cascadia is not a secessionist movement. What I am advocating for is not secession, but awareness. People of Cascadia should become aware to their comrades around them, people that also want to better their locality. My goal is to simply help spread that awareness. What happens next is then up to you. Alexander Bartish, the creator of the Doug flag, has often criticized those who want secession, calling it a pipe dream.
Is Cascadia a secessionist movement? No. Some people try to push it to be, but it's not. Cascadia is a bioregional movement. It means consciousness of your ecosystems, your water.
I would recommend watching some of his videos for more introduction into Cascadia. But for all of this anti-secessionist talk, I can agree with his sentiments in some regards. First of all, our government is becoming increasingly tyrannical. Rampant unchecked capital is ruining people's livelihoods, and literal Gestapo are running around throwing random people into camps, often based only on how brown they look. This would be a good argument for any secessionist movement. Another is that Washington, D.C. is so far away that they are unable to accurately address the needs of Cascadia, and as such we should secede so that we can address our own needs properly. This idea is often brought up in relation to the American Revolution, that the colonies were so far removed from Great Britain that independence was necessary so that Americans could focus on themselves. And this is all very American-focused Cascadian talk. While I would also agree with this sentiment to a degree, we shouldn't make the same mistakes as in the past. While the American Revolution may have had good intentions in its ideas, all men are created free and equal, that never shook out in practice. Even to this day, despite being created equal, we are far from being treated as equals. Cascadian secession, if it is to happen at all, needs to start with acknowledging natives and employing equality, lest we turn into the NTI unwittingly. The last question that I get is, what can I do to help Cascadia? Well, a good idea would be to subscribe and share this video, but another would be to generally interact with your community. Help them out. Talk to people about Cascadia. Let people know they have a community that is there for them. The best way to be a Cascadian is to help your fellow Cascadians. Now that I have hopefully cleared up all your questions, let's get into our goals here. I have stated that awareness is our main priority, and therefore I desire to create a hub for all things Cascadian, including things like news, political commentary, and cultural info videos. Believe me, there is so much culture in this place. We also just generally wish to help further our community, whether that be helping out other content creators from the area or working with non-profits in the area and donating to those in need. We really just want to help Cascadia. You may have noticed that I've been saying we and our at times, and that's because it's not just me here. In creating this video, I had support from many other Cascadians, some of which who hope to contribute more to the channel. And if you wish to help contribute, all I ask is that you like and subscribe. Post a comment, ask some questions, we'll be sure to get to them as soon as possible. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Bright burns the sun upon the misty mountain where the woodland waters run and tumble to the sea with the force of your story. Oh, Cascadia, work of the ages, garden of our dreams. Rich grows the wealth when balance and integrity can cultivate good health and foster industry to be diverse as your people. Oh, Cascadia, capable and just, purposeful and green.